Hi everyone, it's Justine. The market for counterfeit goods worldwide on all continents is absolutely huge. And more often than not, when you buy a fake, you don't know that you just bought a fake. That's especially true for handbags because, you're willing to pay more because it's a product that you're gonna wear every day for many, many years. And so handbags are a great product to counterfeit and get massive profit from for people with no ethics. So when you invest in a handbag, especially if it's a high-end designer luxury product, you really need to be sure that you're not buying a fake. And I don't want to let you buy fakes. So example here, with this original Givenchy handbag, you typically have 5 things to check when you're looking at a product like this. Brand characteristics, materials and craftsmanship, proof of authenticity, price and reputation. I'm gonna go in details through each one of these. Let's start with brand characteristics. On a handbag, the logo, the branding, and the custom-made hardware are pretty much the only things that can be trademarked and also concretely defended in a courtroom in case somebody copies. Here, that would be this little logo embossed in gold leaf right there, Givenchy Paris. You have here a little disc which also has the logo on both sides. The chain, maybe. In this case, I'm not sure. Some brands develop chains that are very unique, very recognizable, that could be trademarked. So you wouldn't be allowed to replicate the exact same chain. And that's pretty much it. No, there is one more Givenchy logo inside. Here, tone on tone, embossed on that piece of leather. That's also the actual brand font, so that would typically be trademarked. Givenchy could not say we invented that texture. They couldn't say we invented the gray, the blue, the fact that it opens like this. They didn't invent zippers and they did not invent the strap. So the rest of the handbag is very hard to protect. On a Hermes bag, the closure is completely custom designs, for instance, and therefore trademarked. It is still copied a lot, but Hermes wins when they sue pirates. On a Louis Vuitton canvas bag, the print, which is called a repeat pattern in design, is typically trademarked as well. Every time you see a logo, a piece of custom-made hardware, or a specific recognizable and unique technique that really were invented and that are owned by the brands, these are things that are for sure trademarked and protected, meaning these are the elements that if they copy, pirates are the most likely to go to jail for. So these are the elements that the pirates will try not to copy when they're trying to make an exact replica of that bag. This way, pirates mitigate their risk to a extent in case they get caught. For instance, they will write Givenchy instead of Givenchy, or they will give the Y a slightly different shape, or they'll change the proportions of the letters. I literally just made this up in Adobe Illustrator, but you get the idea. In other words, mistakes in the branding and the brand characteristics are the easiest way to check if you're looking at a fake or not. When you're buying a designer handbag, go to the brand's website first. Look at the branding, look at the exact font, proportions of the logo, look at the custom elements. Because here's the great news. The most copied bags are the most famous ones. Louis Vuitton Never Full, Hermes Birkin, Chanel Flap Bag, etc. These are all classic designs that are still being sold by the brands, so you can easily get reference photos from the brand's website. Next up, the materials and the quality of the craftsmanship. Typically, nowadays, most designer bags are made in leather. Leather is an expensive material. Really nice leather is really expensive. It goes exponential sometimes. So the cost of the material itself, the quality of the leather, is typically one parameter where pirates will try to save money, cut the corners. Leather is soft. Leather that is well tanned is very soft. And so many designer handbags, like the Birkin, which doesn't have a hard structure to support it, will become a bit saggy over time, if you know what I mean. It won't remain stiff. Whereas a counterfeit Birkin will likely be in cheaper leather with not so good tanning, and that will remain stiffer. For that reason, if you buy second-hand handbags, it's actually much easier to see if you're buying the real deal because it will look a little bit saggy. It's easier to see than when you buy a new bag. Sometimes the bag will be in a non-leather material, like coated canvas, typically Louis Vuitton, never full. This canvas has a very specific grainy surface. It has a specific coating. Fakes will make it flat, so the surface will feel wrong, or they will do the coating with a cheaper plastic-like transparent layer. It just feels different if you touch it, I swear. The next point then is the stitching quality. Pure craftsmanship. A designer handbag is impeccably sewed. You could zoom in 300% here. You won't see one mistake. The thread is not hairy, the stitch is perfectly regular, and the distance to the edge is absolutely consistent throughout. The needle is punching the perfect minimum holes. The thread tension is ideal. Indeed, when you sew leather, you can't ever do anything twice. You can't undo a stitching line if you made a mistake, because if you remove the thread, the holes will stay. It doesn't bounce back like fabric would. When producing counterfeit handbags, pirates very often do not care as much as the brands do. And so if you look at the stitching, the regularity of the craftsmanship, you'll be able to spot mistakes with a trained eye quite easily. Also, another thing is edge paint. That makes me crazy. Many luxury brands, as a finishing technique, edge paint the raw edges where the leather was cut to protect it, to make it look nicer and whatnot. Counterfeit handbags are very often sloppy on the edge paint. They do it too quick, hop, 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 and then it smudges on one side or on the other side. So if you have a close look there, it's another way to test, to see, check the quality of the craftsmanship. Here I need to add, if you want to learn more about low quality craftsmanship versus high quality craftsmanship, I dedicated a whole video to that topic where I compared a Desigual, so under 100 euros handbag, with the high-end Chloe handbag. That video will be linked in the corner in the little card for you, and also in the video description if you're looking for it. Moving on to the proof of authenticity. That's an easy one to check, seriously. Most designer handbags have a number, a serial number somewhere inside. Here it's on that little leather tab that matches the outside color, which is pretty fancy. Others have it on an extra label somewhere else inside the bag. Luxury brands will always provide you with a certificate of authenticity together with the bag when you buy a bag from them. If you want to buy a bag like this and be able to resell it someday, maybe in the future, always keep the label inside the bag, don't cut it out, and keep the certificate of craftsmanship close. Because personally, when I buy a bag secondhand on a website, on the internet somewhere, I will ask first for the proof of authenticity. If the seller cannot provide it to me, they can say whatever they want. Like, I swear I had it, I lost it, I bought it in that shop, on that trip, in that country. I don't care. I will not purchase the bag. It's essential that a bag and its proof of authenticity always stay together. Now let's tackle the price question, shall we? High-priced luxury handbags really do cost a lot more to produce than regular handbags because they use very high quality materials, and also, even more importantly in terms of costs in production, very highly skilled labor workers, craftsmen and women. The brands also put a lot of effort into designing, into the aesthetic research for that. The engineers, the suppliers, the manufacturers create completely custom molds to produce those custom elements, etc. That's a big reason why the price tag of a luxury handbag is what it is. And so if you see a Chanel handbag priced at 40% off, it's very likely not a real Chanel handbag. The most luxurious brands do not offer discounts on the handbags because they don't have to. We saw it yet again during the pandemic. Chanel and friends all even raised their prices and still got more sales than before because luxury products in a recession are seen as safe investments. And I even add this. If I see a handbag that is not marked as discounted or on sale, but that is still priced like 10 or 15% below the price on the brand's own website, for me, it's already very suspicious. Because luxury brands are super specific about keeping the recommended retail price that they want. They really don't like other websites to price cheaper than they do. And Essentially, if a website does that, it will lose the business of the brand. So look out for that as well. Speaking of retailers, the place where you're shopping for a bag is already a huge factor in knowing whether you're looking at a real one or a fake one. There aren't 1,000 places that you can go to. There are basically 3. The first one is you shop from a website or a physical store that is owned by the brand. That's the safest option. All good. Second option is you go to a reliable, accent on reliable, multi-brand store or online shop. I will list several options that are reliable in the video description for you. These are called authorized sellers that the brands know and have vetted. And it's a very important factor. Some smaller designer brands sometimes will have a specific page on their websites where they list their authorized sellers, meaning sellers that are known by the brand, and that sources from the brand. And so there you're sure that you're going to get the real deal. And then the third option, and last one really, is shopping secondhand from a reliable store or online shop. Again, here I will list some options for you in the description down below. If you shop secondhand, I recommend that you use the check option if you see one. For instance, on Vestiaire, which is one of the websites I listed below, there is the option either to have the seller send you the product directly, or you pay a little bit more for that check. It means that the seller will be forced to send the product first to Vestiaire. They will check that it's an original and then forward it to you. It costs a little bit more. It takes more time, yes, but handbags are not urgent products, so it's okay. Basically, that's it. I wouldn't buy an expensive bag from any other place, really. Certainly not from street vendors. Definitely not from online stores that I've never heard of. Absolutely freaking not from unknown sellers listed on Amazon or AliExpress or whatnot. These contain so many fake products and fake vendors that look like the original. Stay away, really. Don't buy handbags there. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you. If you would like to learn more about how to recognize good quality in a handbag, watch that video there and also link down below. In there, I review several different handbags really at different price points. It's useful to compare and to learn what exactly to look at. Subscribe to this channel if you watched until here and if you like handbags. I'll see you soon in a new one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.